Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Nikki and I am the Managing Director of Ingenious Personnel, which is a recruitment agency, or you can call it a staffing agency. So I'm very excited today because this is our very last episode in 2020 and we are about to move to 2021. On today's last year's episode, we are going to be talking about how to finish the year strong and how to get through the COVID-19 anxiety. If this is your very first time on our platform, this is where we talk about recruitment. We talk about how to get employed. We talk about business. And if that is a topic that you do like and enjoy, our family is growing. What are you waiting for? Subscribe, like, and share our content, and let's get to the tips. Tip number one, like we all know, 2020 has been a very difficult year for all of us. We just cannot shy away from the fact that there was a time in 2020 where we couldn't even leave our homes. There was a time in 2020 where we had to learn how to homeschool our children. There was a time in 2020 where, a lot of companies shut their doors, of which that meant that a lot of people were retrenched, a lot of people lost their loved ones. So 2020 has been a year. Right now, we can't even go to the beach. So what more can one take? It's just been a horrible year for all of us. I'm not even going to say for some people because I believe it's just been a year for a lot of people. We just had to adjust to our new ways of living. That is why I decided to do this video, because I want us to not give hope going into the new year. You know what? There's a few weeks in December that we can still push through to reach our goals that we originally set in 2020. I know a lot of people, they set goals in 2020 in the new year. I'm one of those people, which some of those goals I don't even meet, but I do it every year religiously. So yeah, there's a lot of people that set goals in 2020 or in the new year that those goals we have not met due to what we have just been through. So if you are one of those people, let's revisit those goals. That is tip number one. Revisit those goals. I'm sure you wrote them down somewhere. Even if you didn't write them down, you know exactly what you wanted to achieve going into 2020. So revisit those goals. Look at what is still achievable. What can you still achieve? If you wanted to lose that weight, maybe you wanted to lose 50 kilos of weight or 50 kilos or 100 kilos, you might not be able to lose 100 kilos, but you might be able to do something towards that goal. Start scheduling time in your diary to go to the gym. Start scheduling time in your diary to eat healthy. Prepare those healthy meals. Drink that water. Do something towards that goal. So you would look at what goals you set for yourself in 2020. You would pick one goal that you know you are going to give it your all in 2020 while we are on our way to close this year. You're going to put your all in making sure that you reach one of those goals and you complete one of those goals that you set for yourself in 2020. So that is tip number one. People tend to work well when they are under pressure. Let's move on to tip number two. Tip number two. So tip number two is you want to clear up all the confusion that is happening with you internally. Considering what we've been through, there's a lot of confusion that we are going through. Some of those confusion could be that you're feeling sad constantly. Maybe you lost your job. You're feeling depressed constantly because you lost a loved one. You are anxious because you don't know what's going to happen in 2021. So there's a lot of emotions that are happening within a lot of us. So going into the new year, you want to try and get rid of those emotions. You want to leave those emotions behind and step into a new you going into 2021. I am not saying this is going to be easy, by no means. But if you are somebody that is constantly watching the news, for instance, constantly looking at the news, you're spending hours on the internet, looking at the internet, reading up all these negative things that's happening around the world, you might want to cut down on the amount of time that you're spending reading or listening to all the negativity around you. If you hang around people that are constantly negative, constantly bringing you down, constantly not speaking life into you, you might want to get rid of those people. Remove yourself from that crowd, because now you are working on yourself in stepping into a new dimension of yourself. You cannot do that if you are still hanging around the negativity. You cannot do that if you're still hanging around negative people. You cannot do that if you're still listening to all the negative news that are on our social media. So you want to try and cut down the amount of negative things that you are feeding your soul with. Okay, so you need to try and cut down. Because once you start cutting down the negativity, you will then have time to feed your mind with positivity. So you want to start feeding your mind with positive energy. Detox all the negative energies out of your life. Start feeding your mind with positivity. Start strategizing about 2021. We don't know what's going to happen in 2021. We don't know if it's going to be as bad as 2020. All we can do is to hope and pray that it's not. So start the process now. Now let's move on to our very last tip. Tip number 3. Tip number 3, which is our last tip. So tip number 3 is think about your future. Think about what is it that you want to complete? What is it that you want to achieve in 2021? You might not have achieved what you wanted to achieve in 2020, but going into 2021, we don't know what 2021 holds for us. We don't know if we're still going to be on lockdown like we were on 2020. But all we can do is to pray and hope for the best. But start looking at your future. Start thinking about what is it that you want. If you're wanting to make that career move, if you're not happy in your job, if you're wanting to negotiate your salary, if you want to move into a different industry, start it now. Do not wait for 2021 to make that move. Do not wait for 2021 to start strategizing. You need to strategize now. So look back on what we have discussed so far on all our previous videos. Take tips, take notes, and implement that. Because there's no point if you're going to take the tips and take the notes and not implement it, right? So take the tips, take the notes, implement it, and I wish you a very happy Christmas with your family, and do stay safe, and may God bless all of us, and may God bless South Africa.